how Belgium's $7 billion island will power Europe. Imagine a lonely island rising out of the cold, gray waters of the North Sea. An island where no one lives. An island patrolled not by people, but by robot dogs. At first, it sounds like the beginning of a science fiction film. Yet, this is not fiction. It is Belgium's $7 billion gamble, the Princess Elisabeth Energy Island. A man-made structure designed to capture the invisible force of wind, store it, and transmit it across Europe. If successful, it could redefine the future of energy. If it fails, it may become one of the most expensive monuments to Europe's struggle between ambition and reality. But how did a small nation with no islands of its own come to imagine such a bold creation rising from the sea? Belgium, though a small nation with no natural islands in its maritime domain, has emerged as an unexpected yet determined force in the story of offshore wind energy. Today, it ranks among the world's top 10 producers. Its vision is written not in grand landmass, but in the strength of its commitment. Across the restless waters of the North Sea, 8 vast wind farms already turn with purpose. Their blades capture the invisible currents of air. The electricity they generate lights homes not only within Belgium, but also flows outward, crossing borders, connecting lives, and quietly reminding Europe of what is possible when persistence meets innovation. The urgency for such a project did not arrive in theory, but in crisis. In 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, Europe felt the tremor of vulnerability. Energy, long assumed secure, was revealed as fragile. The continent's reliance on imported gas was not simply a question of supply. It cut to the deeper issue of sovereignty. Suddenly, the North Sea was no longer a cold frontier of engineering challenges, but a lifeline, a turbulent, storm-lashed plain capable of offering independence, stability, and hope. The promise of such a project reaches far beyond sovereignty alone. In building a resilient offshore network, Belgium and its European partners carve a path to reducing their collective carbon footprint. The winds that sweep the sea become allies in the fight against climate change. Large-scale offshore wind farms stand as pillars of this transition, among the most powerful tools available for a continent seeking a cleaner tomorrow. The island's construction will ripple through Belgium's own economy. It calls for workers of every skill, engineers who dare, builders who endure, environmental stewards, and logisticians who navigate the unseen currents of supply. Each phase of its making promises jobs, sparks innovation, and draws new talent into the orbit of renewable energy. In this way, Belgium is not only investing in turbines and cables, but shaping itself into a hub of offshore expertise, earning recognition and leadership in a global energy market hungry for solutions. So, how do you turn such a grand vision, born from crisis and ambition, into a structure strong enough to stand against the fury of the North Sea? The Princess Elisabeth Energy Island is no ordinary platform. It is a bold leap into the future of renewable energy. Conceived as a great hub rising from the sea, this vast project spans an area equal to 9 soccer fields. Its sheer size evokes awe. It will be held in place by 23 enormous concrete caissons, each as heavy as a small skyscraper, sunk 59.06 feet into the seabed. Such anchoring is vital, for the North Sea is no gentle host. It is a restless expanse, where winds shift, waves crash, and survival demands strength. The engineering vision here borders on the extraordinary. To form its foundation, 3 million cubic meters of sand will be poured into the island's core. Yet, this sand is not scattered carelessly. It is bound by a process called vibroflotation. In this method, The seabed is shaken until every grain locks tightly with the next, a solid lattice beneath the waves. This painstaking effort prevents erosion, resists the gnaw of currents, and gives the structure its unyielding heart. It is a testament to safety, to durability, and to the human will to tame one of the world's most punishing seas. Encircling the island, protective walls will rise as guardians. These defenses are crafted not merely to endure storms, but to absorb and deflect them, scattering their power across the sea. Their design is rooted in history, informed by past tempests and guided by future climate projections. For the North Sea is a place of sudden violence, where storms arrive without warning, and only foresight can ensure survival. When complete, the Princess Elisabeth Energy Island will gather a staggering 3.5 gigawatts of power from hundreds of turbines scattered across the horizon. It will stand as the beating node of a North Sea grid. Here, the raw energy of the wind will be harnessed and transformed into direct current. Unlike alternating current, prone to losses over vast distances, DC holds its strength, carrying power more faithfully across borders. In this lies the island's true revolution, not only efficiency, but the possibility of shared energy, a web of nations bound by invisible lines of power. The design of this island speaks to a union of innovation and care. Engineers work hand in hand with environmental scientists, striving to lessen its ecological mark, to ensure the sea gains as much as it gives. For in the end, this project must live in harmony with its setting. Yet despite all its brilliance, one truth remains. The island's promise hinges not just on turbines or walls, but on transmission. Unless power can flow freely across vast waters, the vision of a continental hub remains only a dream. And so it is here, in the invisible highways of electricity, that the story's next chapter begins. Once the island is built, how will its power captured from the wind and sea be carried across nations without fading into loss? Electricity, the lifeblood of modern civilization, has long been carried in the form of alternating current. It is the familiar current of homes and offices, powering lights, appliances, and the quiet hum of daily life. Yet when electricity must travel far, across vast stretches of land or beneath the sea, alternating current falters. Resistance in the wire steals its strength, a slow bleed known as line loss. Over hundreds of kilometers, the waste becomes profound. For the dream of cross-border exchange, AC was never enough. The answer lies in another path. The Princess Elisabeth Island will stand at the heart of this transformation. Through undersea cables, Nautilus and Triton Link will reach out across the waters, tying Belgium not only to its own grid, but to the power lines of Britain and Denmark. This is more than a connection. It is a new crossroads for Europe's energy. Electricity, flowing seamlessly from one nation to the next, will strengthen the continent's resilience. In times of need, neighbors will support neighbors, and the grid will pulse with shared strength. Behind this vision is ambition on a continental scale. The North Sea, long a frontier of storms and trade, is now being reimagined as a single vast energy engine. The target, 300 gigawatts by the year 2050. Enough to power 300 million homes, more households than exist across Europe itself. It is a number that speaks not only to engineering, but to conviction, a determination to shed dependence on fossil fuels, to confront climate change with scale and urgency. To realize such a goal demands more than one island. It requires a living network of offshore wind farms, each a sentinel at sea, feeding into the collective grid. Turbines scattered across the horizon will capture the endless winds, transforming them into power that nations can share. It is a collaboration on an unprecedented scale, built from steel, cable, and resolve. This interconnected grid brings with it not just supply, but stability. When one country falters, another may lend. A lull in wind on one coast can be balanced by a gale on another. Blackouts grow less likely. Resilience becomes the norm. It is energy, not as competition, but as cooperation. Such ambition relies on a quiet revolution in technology. High-voltage direct current, HVDC, makes possible what once seemed unthinkable. By converting electricity to DC, energy flows further, stronger, with minimal loss. Once a theory, it is now a cornerstone of modern networks. On Princess Elisabeth Island, HVDC will be tested and proven, a model for future grids worldwide. And yet, even as the cables are laid and the turbines rise, there is another responsibility: the sea itself. Engineering alone cannot define this project. It must live in harmony with the natural world, where technology bends not only to human need, but to ecological respect. Here, in this balance between ambition and stewardship, the next chapter begins. Beyond the challenge of transmission lies another test. How do you build an energy fortress without scarring the very ecosystem it inhabits? Building an island in the middle of the sea is not merely an act of engineering. It is a dialogue between human ambition and the natural world. The Princess Elisabeth Energy Island captures this delicate interplay, as its creators strive to unite technology with ecology. Here, steel and concrete meet tides and currents. And the vision is not just to build an energy hub, but to ensure that life beneath and above the waves is preserved, even enriched. It is a new philosophy of progress, one that places ecological awareness alongside engineering strength. Among the most striking innovations is the use of low-carbon cement. Cement, the silent backbone of construction, has long been one of the most carbon-intensive materials on Earth. By turning to low-carbon alternatives, the builders of the island cut emissions by nearly 40%. This single choice signals a deeper commitment, that even projects of colossal scale can step lightly, setting an example for global infrastructure. To build cleaner is no longer optional. It is the path forward. Beyond materials, the design itself bends toward life. Special ledges have been crafted into the structure, inviting black-legged kittiwake seabirds that nest on cliffs and coastal walls to return and thrive. What once might have driven them away now offers refuge. By embedding the needs of wildlife into blueprints, the island declares that development and nature need not be adversaries. Beneath the waves, the plan reaches further. Artificial reefs and oyster beds will be installed around the island, weaving new ecosystems into existence. Reefs will provide anchors for corals and marine organisms, while oysters, nature's quiet purifiers, will filter water and improve its clarity. These measures reflect a philosophy of nature-inclusive design, an attempt to turn a fortress of energy into a living reef, serving both power and biodiversity. Yet with innovation comes uncertainty. Marine ecosystems are fragile tapestries, and change can bring unintended consequences. Shifts in water flow, in sediment, in habitat availability, all can alter which species endure and which decline. Environmental groups urge caution, reminding us that the true impacts may not be clear for decades. The sea is already under siege from climate change, pollution, and overfishing. The addition of artificial structures may deepen pressures in ways not yet foreseen. For this reason, the project leans on constant monitoring, on adaptive management, and on collaboration. Engineers, ecologists, and advocates must work side by side, exchanging knowledge, adjusting course when needed, and learning from the sea itself. Only through dialogue can this island live up to its promise, becoming not just an energy hub, but a model of coexistence. Still, such ambition does not come without cost. The vision of low-carbon cement, bird ledges, artificial reefs, and biodiversity-focused design has stretched budgets beyond early projections. The Princess Elisabeth Energy Island carries not only the weight of turbines and cables, but the financial burden of its ecological ideals. It is a reminder that sustainability, though essential, is never free, and that the price of protecting the planet is one humanity must be willing to bear. Environmental ambition gave the project vision, but economics would decide its fate. How does a dream survive when costs spiral beyond control? The vision of the Princess Elisabeth Energy Island began with a number: $2.5 billion. It was vast, yes, but within reach. It represented optimism, the belief that Belgium could anchor a revolutionary hub in the restless waters of the North Sea. Yet, as the months unfolded, optimism collided with reality, and the financial ground beneath the project began to shift. At the heart of the escalation lay scarcity. The specialized technology required to convert electricity into direct current, a crucial element for linking grids across nations, is made by only a handful of companies. As Europe surged forward with offshore wind projects of its own, demand for this rare equipment spiked. The continent, united in its rush for clean power, found itself in competition. Nations chased the same cables, the same converters, and, in the rush, prices soared. What had begun as a daring investment became a storm of supply and demand, pushing costs to unprecedented heights. By January 2025, concern had reached a breaking point. Energy buyers in Belgium voiced their unease, warning that the project risked becoming untenable. A redesign was called for, an urgent attempt to steady the course before the financial weight crushed the very idea. This was the fragile truth of megaprojects. Ambition does not shield against the marketplace. By June 2025, a decision was made, drastic and final. The island's direct current component, once its defining feature, it was canceled. The hub that was meant to carry power across borders, binding nations into a single grid, would no longer fulfill that role. Construction would continue, but the heart of the island's original vision was gone. A grand transnational dream had been scaled back, leaving behind questions heavier than steel or concrete. What future, then, awaits the island? Without DC conversion, its role in Europe's energy story is uncertain. It may remain important, but diminished, unable to weave itself fully into the larger tapestry of the North Sea grid. Its altered path is a mirror to the broader struggle, a continent racing toward renewables, yet stumbling against scarcity, cost, and complexity. These struggles speak to something larger. Across Europe, as the push for clean energy accelerates, the race for limited technology sharpens. The Princess Elisabeth Energy Island is no longer just an engineering tale. It is a lesson in the realities of scaling ambition in a volatile market. Escalating costs, supply shortages, and shifting scope are not setbacks for one project alone. They are challenges for the future of energy itself. The burden of cost raises further fears. Will the next generation of projects be abandoned before they rise? Their designs trimmed or erased? Can the urgent fight against climate change bear such weight? To move forward, nations must share strategies, knowledge, and resilience. Only through collaboration can they navigate scarcity and build networks strong enough to withstand financial strain. The island's fate, reshaped by cost and cancellation, carries with it another consequence: time. What was once imagined as rapid progress now slides into delay. The horizon recedes, and the promise of full operation drifts further away. The Princess Elisabeth Energy Island remains afloat in vision, but tempered now by the hard tide of reality. And with the heart of its original vision removed, the question grew sharper. If not now, then when would the island truly come to life? The best estimates now place the island's opening not before 2032. a delay that tells the story of just how fragile and uncertain large-scale projects have become in today's economic climate. With each passing year, the vision shifts. What was once heralded as the central hub of Europe's offshore grid, a keystone in the exchange of renewable energy across borders, is now scaled back. The Princess Elisabeth Island, in its current form, risks being reduced to a Belgian node, serving the nation but falling short of the continental role once imagined. It is a sobering retreat from ambition, and it casts long shadows over its future contributions to Europe's clean energy goals. Belgium's difficulties are not isolated. Denmark, too, another bold pioneer in the North Sea's energy revolution, has postponed its own island, with completion now pushed to at least 2036. The reason echoes the Belgian struggle. Costs are climbing far beyond initial projections, financing models faltering under pressure. A pattern emerges, not of failure but of delay, revealing how even the most forward-looking nations wrestle with the heavy realities of scale, cost, and logistics in the push for renewable power. Yet the vision endures. A unified North Sea grid is an interconnected web of energy flowing across borders. Binding nations together through the sheer force of wind and tide remains as breathtaking as ever. Such a network could power millions of homes, cut deep into fossil fuel dependence, and become one of the great engines in the fight against climate change. But the road toward it is no straight line. Instead, it twists through barriers of technology, finance, and regulation, each step forward demanding cooperation and resolution. Every delay deepens the urgency. Europe's climate targets are not abstract. They are deadlines etched in the near future. With every year that projects stall, the challenge of meeting emissions reduction goals grows heavier. The setbacks are more than construction delays. They are obstacles to energy security and to the continent's broader commitment to sustainability. And yet, within the struggle lies the seed of opportunity. Strategic planning and true collaboration among nations can soften the blow of scarcity and cost. By sharing resources, aligning policies, and reimagining how such projects are financed, countries may yet revive the dream. A cooperative grid, born from shared purpose, could weather the storms of cost and delay. For now, the task is clear: to confront the obstacles directly. Stakeholders must reassess feasibility, refine financial models, and streamline technology to bring ambition back within reach. Innovation and adaptability are not luxuries. They are the compass points guiding Europe through this difficult terrain. The Princess Elisabeth Island and the Danish island beside it are more than construction sites. They are classrooms. Their delays, their redesigns, and their compromises will serve as lessons for the projects still to come. The dream of a North Sea grid may be slowed, even postponed. But it is not extinguished. The vision of a continent bound together by clean energy remains a beacon distant but still glowing, driving forward the work toward a sustainable future. So, what will become of Belgium's island patrolled by robot dogs? Or it may stand as a cautionary tale, a $7 billion reminder that ambition without supply chains, financing, and patience can collapse under its weight. The North Sea still howls with relentless wind. Whether that wind becomes Europe's salvation or just wasted potential depends on whether projects like Princess Elisabeth can overcome their challenges. And so, the island waits, a silent fortress in the sea, caught between a future of light and the shadow of uncertainty. And if you enjoyed the ride through these mega projects, smash that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. We've got plenty more stories from the edge of tomorrow. Thanks for watching.